We're live on Instagram.
Multi-platform.
So we're live on Instagram. Hello to everybody who's on Instagram. But we're also live on YouTube. So send us a message in the chat. That would be fantastic. Okay, so we also talk about the week. What we have been talking about for the last few weeks is one thing called...
Are we talking WandaVision, yeah?
Yeah, we're talking WandaVision. Yeah, we're talking WandaVision. And WandaVision has been like the highlight of just a Friday daytime. It's brilliant.
Finish work, have dinner. Not That's even it. Watch it whilst you're having dinner. You finish dinner, so you can clearly
just have the time to rest.
Yeah,
and just
zone in completely.
Yeah, man.
Catch all the Easter eggs. So when you watch Emergency Awesome, you're like, I already saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. So, just a little bit about WandaVision. We're not going to spoil it for you.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
But it was season finale on Friday.
Season finale.
I guess this is City Youth Reviews.
City Youth Reviews, yeah. City Youth Reviews. Finale was on Friday, yeah. Okay, so we had a lot of reveals. We had a lot of Easter eggs, some key Easter eggs in that as well.
Yeah.
But what did you think? Was it something that you were happy about, or was it more?
I can't say it was bad because it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But I expected a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Just
a little bit more.
Yeah.
If you've not watched it, make sure you watch it. And make sure you ask your mum for a 7-day free trial of Disney Plus.
If you need a new email.
Yeah, if you need a new email, let us know. But it is a really good series. I think I've just enjoyed the series.
As a general, the series is great.
It is, yeah.
The series is great.
It's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, let us know if you've watched it. If you've watched it, thumbs up if it was a great, satisfying ending. Thumbs down or some kind of really rubbish emoji if it was absolutely disappointing. For me, it was a little bit disappointing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But that's our little bit of a review.
Yeah.
It's come to an end now. But we're looking forward.
That was our spoiler-free review.
Spoiler-free review, but we're looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That looks great.
And a few other things. There's actually some really good anime. I think we were having a conversation last week about anime. Some really good anime on Netflix coming out as well.
Even better.
Yeah, man. But we go. First off into a game, even though we have our reviews, but we go first off into a game. Head to head, me and Jake. But you guys can tune in and have a go at home. So we've got the screen here and we're playing, I think Alpha says we're playing Blurry Celebrities. And I think what we've got to do is be the first one to correctly identify the blurry celebrity on the screen. Okay? Now, if you guys can figure it out, then you can figure it out. But it's me and Jake. You ready, Jake? Wait, is this are we starting already? This ain't it. This is it.
You're joking.
This could be anyone. This could be anyone.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, so we only get 2 chances to say keep going. And so the image is going to be refined a little bit more every time we say keep going. So I'm going to say keep going, please. Because
so does that mean you've got one left and I've got 2?
Yeah. Which is okay, so I still don't know.
No, I'm going to say keep going.
Yeah, I still don't know.
So it's a dude.
I'm going to say...
I think I know.
I'm going to say Matt Damon.
I'm going to say Chris Evans.
Chris Evans? Oh, okay. Okay, I get what you mean now.
Yeah.
Okay, Justin Timberlake.
JT.
Okay. I was going to say him. Did you guys get that at home? Did you get that at home?
The beard threw me off.
Yeah, I don't
think
the hair.
With a beard.
It was the hair that threw me off.
Okay.
I was like, what? Okay, all right, next one. That's fine. So no one got that one. That's fine.
That's fine.
It's all right.
Warm up.
Yeah. Shake it off. Yeah. So let us know in the chat if you guys know who this is. I have no idea who this is, man.
It looks like a woman.
This looks like a woman, yeah? This is
very fun. It's like the manliest bloke ever. It's like Barack.
Oh,
enhance?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I didn't do anything.
All right, keep going because I can't. Really?
And another one, please.
Yeah, and then
zoom in, enhance.
I can't even see if it's a woman or not. I'm gonna. Pastor Mark says it's my wife.
This best not be a bloke,
best not be a bloke. I'm in trouble. Actually, no, I'm gonna say it's Katy Perry. That's what I'm gonna say.
Wait. Have we got any more zoom ins?
What, we got one more. Don't do it then. Wait, can we do that? Yeah, you can do that. You can do it. Go on. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's Katy Perry though.
Oh, that's crikey, what's her name?
It's Billie Eilish.
That's the one.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
That's it. There we go. Katy Perry. Katy Perry was close though. The hair.
I think she's rocking a short look at the moment.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Billie Eilish. I don't know if you guys are, but I think a lot of people are a fan of Billie Eilish. Okay, next one. So we've got number 3. So we'll go up to 5. So keep going, man. I can't see. I'm this close. I can't see. Does anybody know who this is? Does anyone know? I can't tell.
Zoom in enhance cliche.
One more time. Who is this supposed to?
What is?
Okay.
Please. Okay, so it's a dude.
It's definitely a guy.
I don't think he's got a beard.
I think it's Zac Efron. Yes. One to me. Okay, yeah. So I got that. Cool. Yeah, you love High School Musical. I don't even know why you didn't get it.
Right.
Different hair, by the way. Different hair.
Listen, when High School Musical came out, I was the perfect age. It was for me.
Yeah.
It was for my people.
Okay.
So
now he's grown up. Yeah, he's too.
He's a cool dude, man. Have you seen his Netflix show documentary thing where he goes around different countries?
Yeah. That's actually alright. Actually, that's actually alright.
That's a recommendation. I don't know what it's called, but he's got a show on Netflix. It's
like
good.
a very adventurous and like
and
conserving the environment kind of thing.
Yeah, healthy living, different lifestyles. Really cool.
All right, next one. Let's see who we can get this. Come on. I can't
That's
see.
like the same as the background.
I can't see.
Yeah. I think it's a woman.
Okay, go. I'm gonna have both of my goals at the same time. So enhance and enhance. See, you know what? I was gonna say it was a black guy, but it's not a black guy. I was gonna say it's a black guy, but it's.
Can I have all mine as well? Wait. Hold on.
I'm gonna say it's. Oh no! Yeah, it is. It's Chris Hemsworth.
Hold on.
Or is it Liam? Could be Liam. Is it Liam?
I'm seeing a hint of Eastwood's son. Is it Scott Eastwood?
Oh yeah, Eastwood. It could be Eastwood. I don't know.
I'm thinking either
I
him
can't recognize him.
or Evans. Chris Evans.
I'm gonna go with Chris Evans. No, I'm gonna go with
Evans.
Go Chris Evans.
Yeah, I'll go Evans as well.
Hey. Okay. All right, last one. So I've got 2 right now. Who's on Team Jordan? Put your hand up. You know, put an emoji in the chat. Who's on Team Jordan? All right. So last one. Here we go. Last one.
Dude, really?
All right. Okay. Cannot figure these out. So I'm gonna take both of mine. Go.
Throw mine in as well. Oh.
How? Ooh. I think I've seen this picture before. I think it might be Elijah Wood, got the Lord of the Rings guy.
You got that from that?
I feel like I've seen it before. I don't know.
Elijah Wood, really?
I don't know.
Elijah Wood, you know.
Like he's not. It's definitely not like Elijah Wood. I am. I'm really disappointed.
As guesses go, that's a bad guess.
That's a really bad guess. He's got a beard and everything. Ridiculous.
Face tattoos.
Okay, so I won that one. Yeah, I won that one. 2-1, yeah? 2-1.
Won it by 1.
But make sure you keep tuning in for next week because we're gonna have different blurred images, different themes for each week. So I think we've got like a fruit one,
emoji one.
We've got an emoji one. Yeah, we've got a variety of them.
Yeah.
But right out now, what we normally do is go to our sponsors.
Our sponsor, yeah.
No, I don't even want to go to our sponsors. I don't know. No, I'm actually gonna point in the direction of the Launchpad video. So we do games and we do competitions. And the big competition that we've got going, or the big Easter competition that we've got going, is the music making competition. And what we're looking for is people to make music on their phone. Could be any kind of music, and it could sound any kind of way. Just make sure you like it. But with particular apps, there are some really, really good apps out there for you to make music, and this is one of them. So here's the video. Okay, so this is the app. So it's called Launchpad.
Yeah.
And it's basically a way where you can like download sound packs. You can make and remix music. You get like 64 pads on your iPhone screen. 64 pads. The loops, and you can just record those loops onto your phone. And that's just one of the easiest ways to make music, because I think, like I said last week, 2021 is the year of the creative. So you creative people out there, get creative, get making those apps. And the big giveaway, we still haven't thought about a prize, have we?
It's so hard to come up with.
It is hard to come up with
really
a prize.
Hard.
But what I would like to give away is something like an Echo Dot or like a UE Boom Bluetooth speaker, something like that. Or even, I don't even know, like a HomePod Mini, I don't know, something like that. But we want to hear your music, so send your music in. So when you've recorded it, when you've made music with your apps, we've got one more video to show you about that. But when you've made your music, send it to cityyouth@bcc.life, or send it to our DMs on Instagram.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, man. But now we do the resource promo, so we go through a resource promo before we do teaching.
I don't see a book on your desk.
You don't see a book on my desk. You don't.
Do tell.
Do tell. So it's not a book this week. So the other music making app that I'm talking about is called Koala. Weird name for a music making app.
Very strange.
But if you've ever been on Spotify and you've listened to those lo-fi playlists, everyone knows what I'm talking about. Those lo-fi beats that Will Smith just happened to capitalize on. He just happened to just kind of start making his own beats. You know, with the cat in the window or the raccoon in the window, and you just kind of bobbing your head. Everyone knows about those YouTube videos. Lo-fi music, man.
24-hour stream.
24-hour stream.
That's the one.
24-hour stream. Just like, when you go to bed, just listen. But those kinds of sounds are actually made within like your phone. You can make it on your phone. And this app called Koala helps you make those things on the phone. It's very, very easy to use. Yeah. And it's kind of the same as Launchpad. You get these 16 squares, and you can record into it. You know, like if you went, you can just record that, and you went, and you can just like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just a really, really good app. So I'm going to show you a video right now about that resource.
Alright, so I've been playing with this Koala app, and I think I'm going to make a beat off of it. Like this. Let's try that.
See what I'm talking about? Like that's the kind of music you can just make. You know what I mean? That's the kind of like lo-fi music you can just make. So that was just a random video just to show you what you can do. So if you're at home and you're sick of scrolling, and you're listening to some music that you kind of want to make yourself, or you want to be some kind of creative, Koala app is for you.
Yeah,
So
I tried to find it, but I couldn't spell koala. I ain't got a clue, mate. I just don't have a clue. I typed it in about 2 or 3 different ways, and all of them were wrong.
So for everyone out there, you can't spell koala. It is Koala.
There's an O.
I don't know who I'm talking to right now. I thought I knew him. I thought he was smarter than this. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, so it's Koala, and it should be on the
It
should be on the Apple App Store. I'm not sure if it's on the Android App Store, but that's a very, very good question. I think it might be coming to Android, but if you have an Apple device, because I've got Apple, that's the reason why I'm saying this. But there are some really good music making apps. So yeah, that's my resource for this week.
Yeah, my resource is a dictionary. So a dictionary, no, it's not.
Yeah, so I got all the fun resources.
I need a dictionary.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Now, my resource is related to a book I showed on the second week. Now, I showed you guys the Normal Christian Life. And this is a study guide. Now, the reason you have these study guides to partner with these Christian books is when it comes to the Bible and books of theology, it requires a different way of thinking. Like, someone who knows the Bible will tell you when you first start reading, listen, forget everything you know.
Yeah. It kind of blows your mind, and it's like,
you have to forget everything you know and build it up from scratch. And these guides, you can get them for nearly, most books, most deep, rich theological books will have a guide to help you pattern your thinking, help you remember the main things, questions to ask. If you ask him the right questions, you'll come up with the right answers, the answers you need. So there's a study guide for the Normal Christian Life, but you can get study guides for most books, so they are out there. Yeah, so I'll show that.
Again, the Normal Christian Life is just a brilliant book, man. Watchman Nee. So I typically do the 11 to 14. So if you're 11 to 14, I typically give you the resources for your age group, and then Jake typically does 15 to 18s.
Everyone else.
Yeah, and everybody else. Everybody up higher and, upper echelons of...
Elders.
The elders. All that jazz.
Equipping churches.
Yeah, that's what we do. We equip young people in churches. And again, the Koala app, because I can see some of you guys on the feed. So Tempster, I can see you. Kieran, hello, welcome to our live stream. We've got Suko on here. We've got Hawksy. We've got Tadiwa. What's going on? We've got Rita. What's going on? Yeah, man. So it's good to see you guys on the feed. On the chat. I don't know why I keep saying the feed, but it's the chat. And so with Koala, you do have to pay for it. It's about £4, but the possibilities are endless. I think Launchpad is free.
Sweet.
But yeah, just get to making music, man. Definitely get to making music. But from here, we go into our message and we have a conversation about Luke.
Yeah.
So we've started our Bible plan, haven't we, Jake?
Indeed, we have.
On the Gospel of Luke, because we just wanted to look at a gospel. We haven't looked at a gospel really. We haven't dived deep into a gospel, and we typically spend about 10 to 15 minutes going into it and having a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And then what do we do after that, Jake?
Then we have a nice little podcast.
We have a podcast.
Nice little podcast.
It's called Electric Sheep.
Electric Sheep.
There are 4 episodes up at the moment on the Book of James, but we will be starting a new podcast on the Book of Luke.
And finishing the Book of James.
There's
5 chapters.
There is 5 chapters.
And we forgot about the last one.
We forgot about the last one.
I bet.
Yeah. It was Valentine's Day. Leave me alone.
When we was on the phone last night, I was like, have we done it?
We did.
Have we actually done
I
it?
don't think we did it. No,
And at first we was both like, yeah, we done it, we done it.
Definitely
Like,
did it.
no, we haven't.
We didn't do it. We didn't do it. But it's coming. So, so Father God, would you help us to look into your word as we get our Bibles, as we look into your gospel? Would you speak to us? Would you make something clear to us? Because that's all we want to do is hear from you, want to see you, especially on days like this, which is a Sunday, and it's a day to hear from you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. So how we just kind of go through it is very simply, we either have like a teaching or a teaching video, which is coming up in the next few weeks. We have some special guest speakers and some special guest interviews, so they're coming back.
Sweet.
But we have a conversation between myself and Jake about the Gospel of Luke.
Yeah.
Now we talked last week we talked about the kind of the beginning of the Gospel of Luke, like an overall picture of it.
Yeah.
And we said, the Bible Project do a really great map of how the Bible of the book of Luke is drawn in the Bible, and like what the overarching story is. And I mentioned that it's very spiritual as a story.
Yeah.
And it's just very colourful as a story. But I think that there's two observations that I want to make.
Sweet. All right.
About the book of Luke, and we've only read. So in our Bible plan, you should be able to see on Instagram. If it's not Instagram, I'm not sure it is, but it should be on Instagram. You should see the Bible plan, the 21-day Bible plan on Instagram. And I think the first 8 chapters, I think we're 7 days in.
Yeah.
First 8 chapters. And my first observation is that this book looks at Jesus a lot. It's very Jesus-centered. So when we had a Bible study on Thursday,
I would hope so.
You know what I mean? Let me finish. I meant in comparison to the other Gospels.
Okay.
So, yes, the Gospels are supposed to be Jesus-centered, definitely. But some of the other Gospels, like Matthew and Mark, they actually have a lot of text focusing on the disciples and how they understood things and that kind of stuff.
I get you.
Whereas, like, in certain, especially in the first part of Luke, they have very, very short snippets or short episodes or pericopes of what the disciples understood.
Yeah, yeah.
So like when the crowds followed Jesus in chapter 6, verse 17 to 19, when he came down from the mountain and they come to hear from him, but they also heard that he was a healer, all this kind of stuff. Like, it was just a very small episode of what people did, but there's long episodes about in parables. There's long episodes in where Jesus went, what he did, and again, that's central to a lot of the Gospels. But this one talks specifically about Jesus and what he does. So again, like his miracles and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that like the healing on the Sabbath, when you see that in chapter 6, you see the first disciples in chapter 5. Again, it's only about 11 verses long. I think one of the great things, so my second observation is one of the great things about Luke is, I said it was spiritual. I said the book of Luke is very spiritual. Like, you see in chapter 4 that the devil comes along to tempt Jesus, comes along to test him for the 40 days and for the 40 nights.
Imagine being tested for 40 days and the nights as well.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Well, he wasn't just tested though. He was let's say he was starving and tested.
My man's fasting,
He was fasting
in a desert and being tempted.
Yeah.
By the worst of the worst of all the worst that's ever worst.
I know.
Like, not just a demon,
Well,
like
the
head honcho, man.
the head, the guy. But like, I think when it comes to like even that little story, if you've ever gone to a beach and you've got like sand in your mouth or like sand in your shoes, yeah, and that's uncomfortable, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like, Jesus was walking the whole time through the desert, like sandstorms and all that kind of stuff.
There's so much about that little bit of his life where we can only guess on what happened and what it was like, because
40 days without food or without food and water even. It's really hard. So as I was kind of saying about the devil coming in to tempt Jesus.
Yeah.
I think the book of Luke also, especially in the first 8 chapters, gives us an idea of what spiritual beings are and what are their behaviors. So you've got in chapter 4, you know, how the temptation of Jesus takes place. But then you've got in later on in chapter 4 where Jesus casts out a demon. You've got in chapter 5, he heals a man with leprosy. He also he goes to the chapter 6 and he talks about the crowds that followed him and the spiritual healings and the spiritual castings out of other demons, and all these kinds of stories point to how spiritual beings behave. But I also think it points to how Jesus deals with them and this authority that Jesus has. Now they hear about Jesus far and wide. They hear about how he's done X, Y, and Z, but he's famous specifically for casting out demons, being a light over the darkness, having power and strength over the darkness, which for me gives me confidence, because if we do tend to have, bad dreams, or if we tend to feel like the world is a dark place, this guy is the guy who's conquered darkness, who's conquered all those bad things and all those scary things that we have. So for me, it's extremely encouraging and comforting because of who Jesus is. So those are my 2 observations. I know they're like deep dive, but we'll I haven't got a lot of time to explain it, but I think we'll go into it in Electric Sheep. But what were your 2 observations when it comes to the first 8 chapters?
It was, rather than some general observations, it was two specific areas. The first one, which caught my eye, was in chapter 2 of Luke, and it's verses 21 to 24. And this is where Jesus is presented in the temple. It's like his dedication. And then my next one was in chapter 6, when he's doing his stuff on the Sabbath. Yeah. Now I'll start with the first one, Luke chapter 2. If we're looking at, I'll just read it. It's like 4 verses.
Yeah.
So 2:21 onwards, it says, 8 days later, when the baby was circumcised, he was named Jesus, the name given him by the angel even before he was conceived. Then it was time for their purification offering, as required by the law of Moses, after the birth of a child. So his parents took him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. The law of the Lord says, if a woman's first child is a boy, he must be dedicated to the Lord. So they offered the sacrifice required in the law of the Lord, either a pair of turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. Now, whenever it says, as written in the law of Moses, there's a hint. Go find where it says it. And if you don't know where it says it, often, well, in my Bible, but most Bibles, you have a section of references. Mine's in the bottom right, and where you have those little stars next to things.
Or it could be a letter or a number.
Yeah, a letter or a number. Yeah. Those will be your reference points. So I found where the reference was, because it says at the bottom right in my Bible. And when I found it, it turns out this is what I found really interesting. Yeah. So here it says either a pair of turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. Only if you don't also have a lamb to sacrifice. So it's so there's a lamb, so you have to sacrifice a lamb and a bird, a pigeon or a dove. Yeah, I think it's just one. But this is in Leviticus. For reference will be in the Bible. Yeah. So it's either you sacrifice a bird and a lamb, but then it goes, but if you don't have a lamb, sacrifice 2 pigeons or 2 turtle doves.
Oh, okay.
So you can't sacrifice the lamb because it's not time for the lamb to be sacrificed yet, is it?
You mean in...
Because he is the lamb. So his time to be sacrificed isn't yet.
So they need to have 2 doves, 2 pigeons.
Yeah, because they can't come and sacrifice the lamb yet.
They can't come and sacrifice the lamb yet. Okay, so there's a a bigger idea of Jesus being the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
And so at this point, it still means that they can't sacrifice the lamb because it's not Jesus' time to be sacrificed.
And he was born in Bethlehem, and that's where they would get their sacrificial lambs from. And Bethlehem, Bethlehem means, what is it?
Means,
what is it?
Darn it.
It's place of a lamb, so it's sweet.
Yeah, it means like, it's Beth.
Yeah.
And you got Lechem, but that's a whole
exactly.
That's electric sheep for us. But
yeah. So I seen him. I was like, that's amazing. That's amazing. Like, obviously they couldn't sacrifice the lamb because he's the lamb, and he had to go live another 30 plus yeyears until he could, on his birthday.
On his birthday,
be sacrificed.
Be sacrificed. Yeah. Nice.
So
that was the first one.
So yeah, that's my first one. So remember, every time it says, as written, Law of Moses, go find it.
Yep.
See what's there.
Definitely.
The second one was in chapter 6, when he's doing his stuff on the Sabbath. Now, in all the Gospels, when it comes to Jesus doing his Sabbath stuff, there's always a big chunk. It's either a chapter or half a chapter. They give some detail to it.
Yeah.
And the Pharisees could never really get their head round, or they'd always bring this argument up. But they could never work it to kind of fit and accuse him so that he could die, because the law was, if you break the Sabbath, the punishment is death. Mm-hmm. But then
Sabbath being the day of rest.
Yeah, Sabbath being the day of rest. So again, go read your Moses writings. So Sabbath being the day of rest once a week, and you ain't meant to break it, otherwise bad things happen. I'll leave it there for electric sheep. And one of the things Jesus would constantly say is that I am the Lord of the Sabbath. I'm the Lord of the Sabbath. And whenever we talk about God and we sing our songs, we say He is this for us, He is this for us. And one of the things we say is that He is our place of rest. So on top of when Jesus says, I am the fulfillment of the law. So it's all talking about Him. So if it's all talking about Him, what's the Sabbath in relation to Him? And if God is where we have our rest, then that means Jesus is the Sabbath. Jesus is the Sabbath. He is the Lord of the Sabbath. So, what happens if you don't keep the Sabbath? Now, we have to remain in Him. That's what we're tasked with.
So
and then we receive our eternal rest. This is when you're looking at your Hebrews 4. You're looking at your talking about the eternal Sabbath and your revelations and stuff like that. Your eternal rest. But rest can only come after work. He's done the work.
So that means...
So we just have to remain in that.
Then
we receive our eternal rest. The whole point of the Sabbath is that He is the Sabbath, and it's a ginormous foreshadow. And when you go back to where Moses was writing about it, there's stuff there, and it becomes really obvious, and you're able to just draw these straight lines to Jesus and see how it all works out. It's amazing stuff, never to be overlooked.
Which is one of the things I love about, again, being a Christian, is because we have a God who's done all the work for us, and so we're able to just rest. Rest meaning accept what He's done, believe what He's done, and we don't have to sacrifice anymore. We don't have to do all this anymore. But we have the pleasure of like sacrificing for Him, in like, you know, denying ourselves and loving our neighbor, all that kind of stuff. So but Luke is very insightful. So we also want to bring two questions to each other very quickly. And so my first question, like, if you can answer this as briefly as possible. My first question is, it actually comes from one of the viewers, actually, because we tried to tackle this in the Bible study, which was really hard. That's against the Greek. It was hard. But James, we looked at James.
Okay.
And James, in the book of James, it said that God can't be tempted. But in Luke chapter 4, Jesus, who's God, is tempted.
Well, what it says is, because I think I know who said it.
Okay.
What it says is, God can never be tempted to do wrong.
Okay.
Tempted to do wrong.
Okay.
You can tempt me, but whether or not it works is a different question.
Oh.
Isn't it?
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
so,
no, it's good.
So is it James 4 or James 5? It's talking about it.
I can't remember, but yeah.
So it says,
I think it's in James chapter 4.
God can never be tempted to do wrong, and of course he can't, because there's only good in him. He is pure light.
Yeah.
So when Jesus is being tempted, he's being tempted, but is Jesus himself tempted to then do wrong? No, because we see the rebukes of all those temptations straight after.
Well, the question was about being tempted to do, tempted in any way, but then, as obviously we see that in Luke, it literally says right here, then the devil took him to Jerusalem, to the highest point of the temple, and he said, if you're the Son of God, jump off, for the scriptures say he will order his angels to protect and guard you, and they will hold up even with their hands, and so you won't even hurt your foot on a stone. And Jesus says, in the scriptures also say you must not test the Lord your God.
Yeah.
And so there was a testing.
Yeah.
So I think when we answered that, it was about, one was testing for, being mean, but then one was testing to prove something.
Yeah.
And I think this one was about testing to prove something, not testing to be mean. Yeah. But that was my observation. But that was your answer would be, well, actually, it's about doing something bad.
Yeah.
Okay. And the second question would be, if you guys have any questions, just to say, if you guys have any questions about the book of Luke, maybe what you've read, again, the Bible plan is on our Instagram. Let us know in the chat, and we'll definitely try and answer it. But the second question is about enemies.
Yeah.
So in Luke chapter 6 verse 27 it says, but to you who are willing to listen, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, and bless those who curse you, pray for those who hurt you.
Yeah.
And then it talks about, turning the other cheek, all that kind of stuff. So my question is, what do enemies look like to us today? And this weak picture of Jesus, how do we overcome it? How do we overcome this weak picture of turning the other cheek of Jesus? So the first question would be, what could our enemies look like today?
Your enemies can look like anyone.
What are they out to get, or so they're like around the corner or something?
I think you can't go on thinking everyone's out to get you. One of the main enemies is the world. Yeah. But the world doesn't even know that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got yourself, you've got the enemy, and you've got the world who comes against you.
You're an enemy of yourself because you want to do things that you shouldn't.
Yeah. You have your fleshly nature.
Yeah, your fleshly
your
nature.
old Adamness.
And then you've got the devil. Obviously, he knows what to do.
You got the devil. You got the world. But the thing is, the world doesn't even know. They're oblivious. They hate you because you have that aroma. We're talking 2 Corinthians 2 or 1 Corinthians 2.
You have a pleasing aroma to
you have an pleasing aroma to those who are going towards everlasting life, and the stench of death reminding those who are heading to eternal nothingness.
Yeah.
So they will despise you, but a lot of people, just even though they're not, Christian, aren't against you.
Yeah.
But it's the whole turning the cheek thing, and oh gosh, I hear this all the time. well, so and so did this to me, so I'm just gonna give it back to him. Shut up, man.
Okay.
So when you look at your first Johns and stuff, it says you've been forgiven, so you must forgive.
Because I think this is a big one, because
this is a huge one
because there's bullying that happens in schools.
This is a ginormous one. And it creates problems for people when they're older, because they start getting into arguments and you're wasting your breath.
Okay.
You are wasting your breath.
Okay,
so
alright.
You think just because someone did whatever to you that you have to go give it back, not just give it back equally, but even greater.
Yeah.
Hold on. If you've been forgiven for all, and the stuff you've been forgiven for is sin, and all your sin is going against God, it's not about what I did to so and so. The problem is I've messed up with God.
Yeah.
If you've been forgiven, and she's been forgiven, and he's been forgiven, and you've done nothing for it, because you've been forgiven, how dare you then not forgive someone else? Because you are not deserving of any forgiveness at all.
Right.
So because you've received that and you know it, Christians, you must show the same thing. Otherwise, it's a waste. Do you think you deserve?
It sounds really weak though. It sounds like
it only sounds.
Jesus is like
it only sounds.
Like.
If you've ever been in a situation where you've had to turn the other cheek, you kind of get really angry.
You do, yeah.
You don't want to.
You don't want to.
You don't want to.
You really want to like step to the.
It's a fight inside,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you want to be swinging.
Yeah, of course. Like
swing
you know, I
first.
go to the gym for a reason. Like,
Yeah. You want to be swinging.
Yeah.
It's only the strongest are able to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Still.
It's a thing for the strong.
Yeah.
Those who can't do it, you look weak. You look foolish.
Good. I like it. Yeah. Cool. You had 2 questions for me, didn't you?
Yeah. First one, the Temptations, chapter 4. The 3 ways Satan used to tempt him.
Yeah.
What do you think of those?
What do I think of them? I think that they are like if there's 3 ways. It sounds like, when it comes to the Bible, numbers are just like
and he's not just going to tempt him with any old thing, is he?
He's not going to say here's here's a mansion.
Yeah, like
or
some
here's Ferraris.
like some thought is going to be put into this.
There's something there.
Yeah.
Like there's some real reason, again, because the devil's this spiritual being that has some kind of different kind of knowledge.
Yeah.
I think those 3. So I think one of them was about giving him the world and the kingdom.
Yeah.
There's another one about jumping off and protection.
Yeah.
And then there was another one
food.
And about food.
Yeah.
So there's provision, there's protection, and there's almost like power.
Yeah.
Provision, protection, and power. I think, to be fair, if I'm honest, I think they're the 3 common gods that we can worship.
Yeah.
Protection, like we all want to feel safe. We all definitely want to feel safe. We'll give up our freedom sometimes to do that.
Yeah.
We want influence. We want, power. We want the control. We want all these kinds of things. But we also want food. Like when it comes to food, we all love food, guys. We all love food. We all like our mom's cooking. It's good.
Love food.
And so to be tempted by that, like
Yeah.
to say somebody else is going to provide for me other than God,
Yeah.
is one of the biggest challenges, because otherwise you are saying, and all 3 of them will point to, and it would end up in Jesus saying, well, Satan, you are God, because I don't believe God in what he's going to help me on and put me through and provide for me after this set of my testing.
Yeah.
I'm going to believe you and what you give me, because you're going to offer me the world, you're going to offer me some bread,
Yeah.
you're going to offer me something else. So yeah, there are 3 big things that I think we wrestle with,
Yeah.
and they point to making something else God if we're not careful.
Yeah, definitely. So then the last one was it was Luke chapter 2, with Simeon.
Simeon, Simeon, is it what's his name's prayer?
Yeah, so he was God promised him that he wouldn't die before he saw the Messiah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
What's his general thoughts on that?
General thought about him not dying before he saw the Messiah.
Yeah, like God promised him he will not die, and then he sees Jesus, he prophesies,
And
he goes,
and he dies.
and then now can go and rest.
Yeah. See, I think it's definitely a big foreshadow.
Yeah.
It's always like when it comes to these kinds of things, it's always a big foreshadow. So it's like I'm gonna give you a small picture of the big picture.
Yeah.
And I think Simeon's prophetic ministry was almost kind of a John as well, like a forerunner. I will see him, I will speak over him, I will prophesy about him,
Yeah.
I will bless him, and then I will die.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happens to John later on in the book.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to spoil it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, so I think it's a big foreshadow, but I think we've got to keep reading the book of Luke in order to keep seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, that's like that was the kind of the book of Luke, our insights. Again, if you want to catch more of that and more of that conversation, it will be on our Electric Sheep podcast.
Yep.
But we have a few announcements. Do you want to do the honors? what you normally say?
Oh,
Yeah.
Electric Sheep. That's the one.
No, not that one.
No?
It was the message from our sponsors. So take a look at this video.
Oh. Skillshare, what? 10% off. What? City Youth Beer.
Look at the video. That was Limitless Festival.
That's the one.
It's Limitless Festival. Again, in the weeks coming up, we will be disclosing the information about how you can sign up for Limitless Festival 2021 in person.
Can't wait.
It's definitely in person. And again, because we're opening up in it, you know, Pastor Mark said today we're opening up the church, so it's gonna be a process.
Nice one, Boris. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, man. So head over to the website, find out a little bit more information about what you have to bring if it's your first time. If you've never been to Limitless Festival, it's absolutely amazing.
Yep. Some
great speakers, great event. And yeah, we'll let you know when we open our bookings for Limitless Festival 2021.
Yep,
cool.
Definitely. We spoke to you about our prize giving, our competitions. Now, we spoke to you about a big prize at the end of this series, but we're still doing our weekly stuff. Now, we've got a load of Christian clothing brands. Listen, free clothes. Free clothes.
Free clothes.
It's free clothes.
Free clothes.
All you gotta do, put a comment in the comment section. I swear we go. Put a verse from Luke. 1 verse, 2 verse, as many verses as you want. Put something from Luke in there. Reference it so we know it's from Luke.
yeah, so you know it's there.
Yeah.
So you can
if I see a psalm, I'm not gonna be happy. Okay? No psalms, no proverbs.
Yeah, no.
Something from Luke. Stick something from Luke in there. I believe we've got the pictures of some clothes you could win.
Should be showing up on the screen somewhere here in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Luke, in the comment section, you could win some clothes for free. You don't have to do anything.
That's it, man.
It's for free.
Yeah, it's for free. And it could be, you can make a comment on any video, but the videos that I'd recommend that you make a comment in is our last year's summer series, which was called The Walk. Like, have a watch of that. It's great. It's a great teaching. And you can win some free merch.
When you're at the age where you have to buy your own clothes, don't you wish you could win some free clothes?
So free clothes. It could be a hat. It could be a T-shirt. It could be anything that's shown up on the screen. It could be from a different brand. But what we like about it is that they're Christian brands, aren't they? So so make sure you leave a comment, and you can win some merch.
Yeah,
you can win some merch, man. Okay. So very lastly, we'll just kind of remind you guys about again the music competition. If you want to send in some music, could be 16 seconds worth of a beat that we can just loop and we can use it here on City Youth channel.
Yeah.
Send it to us on our Instagram or our email cityyouth@bcc.life. And next week we will be on going from I believe chapter 9 of the book of Luke.
Yeah, 9 onwards.
9 and upwards. And we'll again just have more giveaways and we'll have some interviews and some great teaching.
Yeah.
So I think that's it, man.
Podcast?
No, yep. Sorry, podcast, yep. So all of the Electric Sheep podcasts are up to date and we do have all of our interviews as well on the normal City Youth podcast. So if you have Spotify, have a look on Spotify. That is where our podcasts are uploaded. If you don't have Spotify, we'll get them over to Apple. Don't worry, we'll get them over to Apple at some point. But yeah, tune into those.
Yeah.
But I think that's it now, though.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So thank you so much for joining us. I don't know who's on the chat, but I will definitely have a look to see who's on the chat. I think I can see, Kieran. Again, it's still good to see you guys. We can see quite a few of you. But thank you so much for joining us. Join us next week for another episode and share this, subscribe, and do all of that YouTube stuff.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, man. It's good being good. Take care, and we'll see you next week.